Staying on top of your work can be overwhelming, especially when you have countless classes and assignments to keep track of. The good news is, a well-organized Notion setup can completely change this for you, helping you keep track of deadlines, revision, and study sessions all in one place. It's made my work a lot more efficient and far less stressful, and I honestly couldn't imagine working without it. Keep watching and I'll show you how this Notion setup can completely change your workflow. If you're new here, my name's Tom and I'm an engineering student on self-improvement while sharing everything I learned along the way with you guys. So let's get into it. So in my last video, I covered the personal side of my Notion setup, which let me keep track of various aspects of my life, such as habits, goals, and also anything that I want to remember. But in this video, I'm going to cover my setup, which I use to keep track of my university work. So this would be great if you're in school, college, university, or even work and want to keep track of various assignments, revision, or research. And once again, this Notion template will be linked in the description completely for free so that you can download it for yourself and try it out. The first page I have for the school side of my Notion setup is my assignments page. Now what this page does is that it keeps track of all the assignments that I have through my uni work and need to keep track of. So coming into here, it may look a bit overwhelming to start with, but once you start adding in assignments, it gets a lot easier. So if I want to add an assignment, I'll just click down into here, call this whatever it needs to be. So say if you have a presentation due, you can just put that into there, and then you come over here, and then you can select what module the assignment is for. So in here, I've just put in general topics 1 to 4, just to keep it nice and simple. But you can type in your specific modules that fit to your course in here. So say if it's topic 1, click off that, and then you can say your due date on this. So say for this one, that is due on Friday. I can put that into here, and it comes through. Then what this next cell does is that it works out how many days you have left for that assignment. So you can keep track and prioritize for the assignments that are going to be due in the soonest. You can also come over here and you can add in a set date if you want to. This isn't necessary, but it can be good to keep track of when the assignment was actually set. And there you go. It's as easy as that to then add an assignment into this template. So once you've added in more assignments for the year, you can then use different views to keep track of all these separately. So currently I have different tabs for each topic. And when you go into each of these, you can see all the assignments that belong to that specific topic. If you had more topics and wanted to add in another one, you can come over to the plus next to these and then add in a new view. So in this case, I'm going to make it a table. And right now it brings up all the topics because I haven't filtered anything. So you can rename this. So I might rename this as topic 4. You can change the icon to this to something pretty. Give it a little apple, why not? And then you can come over to here to then the filter section, and then pressing this you can change it to module, and you can select whichever module you want to filter by, and there you go. You've then got an extra view for any specific topic that you want for the assignments that you have. Now the views in Notions are a great way to see everything in a specific topic, but you can also use this on a time frame as well. So these additional tables that I've added down here cover all the assignments that you have in the next week, month, and also that you've completed. So the first one I've linked for assignments that have a week left. So this brings the assignments to my attention that I need to focus on the most as they're due the soonest. And I've also got another view for all the assignments that are due in the next month so I can keep track of and make sure that I'm still working towards these deadlines. If you want to change the timeframes on these, you can go over to the filter tab again, and you can change what assignments show for different timeframes. So if I come into here, I can change this to 2 weeks or even more. And I can also change this to, instead of having it for the next week, I can actually set it to this week. So it keeps it the same. You can do this in the month table as well. So you can come over to here and you can change it for the next month or the next 2 months, whatever you want. So as you can see, the one that was included in December has now been added into the table. And then you can also change it from, again, the next month, or you can have it ones that are just due to this month. So in this sense, the ones that were due in December have now disappeared from this table. And one of the great things about Notion is that you can actually link views of these tables to different pages in your setup. So what I've done is if I go back into the Life Hub homepage, then I can scroll down here and then you can see all these assignments that you've got coming up in the next week and month to keep track of. Now this is great because it just serves as a constant reminder. Every time I open up this setup, I can see what deadlines are coming up next, and it reminds me to actually get working if I'm falling behind. The next page I have on my setup is my revision page. In this page again, I've just added in basic topics 1 to 4, but you can customize this to whatever you have for your course. So if you come into a new page on the top here, you can then name this whatever module you have. So say I've just got topic 5 here. and then you can add in a cover, whatever it wants to generate. You can add the icon in as well. And then that's how easy it is to then add a new topic into here. But for now, I'm going to stick with these basic 4s, so I'm just going to delete that and stick with these ones. Now the main purpose of this page is keeping track of all your lectures and having your notes in one place so it makes revision as easy as possible. So to add in a lecture that you've attended, you just click into here. You can name the lecture, whatever it may be. You can then assign it a module. So all of these here are linked to all the modules that we have in this tab here. So I'm just going to assign it a topic 1 here. And then you can add the date of the lecture. So say if I had it today, I can press today, and then it's added in here. Now what you can do is that you can actually come into this lecture page, and then this is a place where you can record all your lecture notes. So in this page, I've added a button where if you actually missed the lecture, you can set the status as missed. So next time when you review your lectures, you can see which ones you need to catch up on. So for this one, we're just going to leave it as new, as it's a new lecture. You can then come down to this section and you can add in any lecture notes that you want. And then either after your lecture or on another day, you can then come in and you can start thinking about active recall questions. Now, active recall is a really great technique to ensure that you're not forgetting vital information that you've learned. So for this section, you can use the lecture notes that you've written in here to then write a question, and then you can use the toggle feature to then hide the answer. So when you then go into revision, you can then test yourself on what you know and what you don't know. You can then add in as many questions as you want here. Then once you've made your lecture notes and made some active recall questions, you can actually rate yourself on how you feel on this topic. So for now, I'm just going to set this to novice. Every time when you come back to this lecture, you can go through your active recall questions to test your knowledge. You can then go through your lecture notes to write even more questions to test you on different aspects of the topic. Then you can say that you've reviewed the topic, and when you press this button here, the last review and days since your last review then get updated. And then you can also change the status to however you feel on that topic. So once you've added in more lectures into this table, you can clearly see which ones you haven't reviewed for in a while. So in this case, my lecture 1, I haven't reviewed in 11 days. So I might want to go back into this, and then I can go through the lecture notes, recall questions. I can then press review, and again, this then changes to 0 days because I've then reviewed it on today. Now another thing I can do here is I can actually sort the table differently. So instead of having it going by date, I can then change it to last review, and I can have this as descending. So I can see the lectures which I haven't covered in a while. I also have multiple different views in this table. So if you come over it into one that I've named calendar, this can be a better way to actually visualize when you have your lectures. You can also add them in straight from this view. So say if you have a lecture tomorrow, you can press the plus sign here, and then you can call this, say, lecture 4 that you have. You can then assign this whatever module it was. So say if it's a topic 4, I can then put that in here. And then you can see the same template has been loaded in to fill out the lecture notes, questions, and also the review buttons. And the good thing about this is that because it's all one table, this can be seen in the basic view as well. So if you wanted to review it in the main table, you can also go into here and then see it as normal. The other views I have here is that I have one dedicated to missed. To say if that lecture, if I actually missed it, I can change the status to missed, and then I can come into this view and can see all the lectures that I need to catch up on. The final view I've got here is the review tab. So what this does is it organizes all the lectures on my understanding of the topic. So you can see here, I've got novice, amateur, and pro. And then down here, I've got hidden as the new and missed ones. If you wanted to hide or unhide any particular group, you can go into the 3 dots over here, go down into groups, and then you can press these little eyes to then hide. This can be great if you want to identify and revise the topics that you're actually weakest in, because there's so many study sessions that you end up doing and you spend maybe an hour on covering stuff that you already know, when your time would be spent way more efficiently on actually focusing your weakest areas and improving on those. And that's why this page is great, because you can revise any way you want. You can sort it by your weakest areas. You can also sort it by the last time that you reviewed the topic. And what you can also do is on these large topic icons at the top, is that you can actually go into these, and then this is just filtered everything on that topic alone. So this is great if on the particular day you just think, I really want to study topic 1, and then this has everything on here. You can also further sort this. So if you go into the sort function here, you can change this to the last time that you reviewed it, or the mastery of the topic, to further identify which areas within that topic you want to focus on. Now the final page I have in my work setup is for research. So this is the page I use for large projects such as a dissertation or essay to keep track of all my research that I need for that particular assignment. So in this case, again, I can add in a new page, call this whatever it may be. And then in here, I've just set up different types. You can assign it what type it is. So in here, I've got multiple different options through journals, articles, websites, but you can also customize this for whatever you want it to be. So I might just call this as an article. You can then add in a link to this article. You can write the synopsis of it. So basically just a general summary of the information in that article. You can then write any quick notes of this article or a quick description so you can actually identify it without having to go through the whole thing all over again. And then you can assign what topic in your essay or dissertation that this is going to be affecting. So you can say that this will be part of chapter 2. You can assign this here. And then I've added a tick in here, so when I actually use this in an essay, I can keep track of what resources I have and haven't used in that project so I can reference it later. Each of these entries also has its own page, so if you open up in here, this template has been set up so you can add in the actual document, you can add in any summaries, any methods used, and any conclusions that you're drawing to this. Now, if you wanted to change that in any way, you can come over to this blue arrow over here, and in this page set as default, this is the template that you've just seen. So you can actually come into here, press edit. So you can then change this template to whatever you want that best fits the project that you're undertaking. So there you go, that's the template I use to keep track of my university work. Once again, if you want to try this setup out to use in your own work life, then you can download it completely for free using the link in the description, and you can steal any aspect of this for your own personal setup. If you've enjoyed the information in this video and want to know more about Notion and other ways of staying productive, then have a look at my private community and coaching linked in the description. And as always, love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.